Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Jersey Comic Crew, your favorite podcast for all things pop culture, TV, news, comic books related. And I'm Chris Heller, and with me is the awesome
Rob Moran. Thank you for me being here.
And usually you got to look at the description below if you haven't read The Flash, because we are talking the Flash Year 1 story arc in comics.
Yes, so that starts from Flash issue number 70 to 75, which just ended recently. Mm-hmm. So if you wanted to pick up in Flash as a whole, as a character, this is actually the perfect arc for you. So pick up issue 70. This is going to a retelling of his origin story.
Yep.
How he got the powers, what he did with them, and how he developed and became the person that we know today. And the implications of that in the future.
Yeah.
So, first off, the art is beautiful. So, who's the creative team on this?
Josh Williamson, who's been writing Flash since it started for Rebirth.
Yes.
And Howard Porter did the art, who has been in the game a long time. He's done Superman. He's done, he's done a lot of Flash lately, which is really cool.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of big time storylines as well with Justice League. So really good artists, great creative team. Really fun story, really awesome story. Had a lot of emotional beats, high and lows.
Mm-hmm. Fun is the great word for this story.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a fan of Flash.
Especially if you're going back and doing a Year 1 story. Like we've seen, Batman Year 1. We're doing Superman Year 1 now with DC Black. And, Batman was always kind of like the first Year 1,
it's the
major
icon,
story arc. This, for Flash, you got to do something completely different, right? Like it can't just be... the same hey, dark origin story. Mm-hmm. It has to be a, accidental, scientific, scared normal person going into this, crazy new world that they never thought was imaginable. I thought they hit it on almost every node.
So what this book did very well in the beginning when he first got his powers, which most of you are familiar with, there was an accident in his lab where he was working. Mm-hmm. The electricity, the Speed Force hit him, gave him these powers. But we always kind of thought he had things figured out, or that was the impression that when he got Flash, especially even early on. But just to see him handling his abilities, running really fast and not understanding what's going on, reading really fast, and then there's almost that 80s montage of him figuring out his powers.
Gonna be a montage.
So he's running and he's his shoes are getting worn out. So a pile, you'll see in the comic panels start growing progressively bigger and bigger.
He's run out of his
Him
shoes.
reading really fast and realizing if I read really fast, I don't retain everything as well. Mm-hmm. And then him developing I got to create new boots so that way they don't exacerbate. And then
my secret identity.
He started figuring there are things he has to do.
Yeah.
But he's still at this point, before any major events happen, he just figured out his powers, trying to understand what to do with them. And he's just a regular guy.
Yeah.
It doesn't nothing changes until he runs too fast one day.
Exactly. And he has his origin where still his mother was killed.
Yeah, that's
they still blame his dad, and he's still trying to ffigure out how to get his dad free. He knows his dad didn't do it. That origin is staple place for him. Just as much as, Kal-El in the rocket ship coming to Earth or Bruce Wayne's parents dying, that is a staple of the Flash.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Flash origin story that we all know is that Reverse Flash came back in time, killed him, set barrier on this course of events. It is a focus on that. This focus on right after he gets his powers, how he adapts to it, and how he decided essentially to become the hero that we know.
Yeah, and what happens to him in that process, right? It's very much like you said, it kind of kicks off. He's running too fast and accidentally goes forward in time.
Yes, and that's where the book really picks up.
And that's where it knocks off this chain of events that he has to realize is going to be a thing. He goes really far into the future where his future Flash self is very Jay Garrick aged, very old and kind of on his last leg and isn't very hopeful and isn't very positive. And the Turtle, of all characters, of all his villains, the Turtle is the one to do it. And which I think is cool because it's not hey, it's an origin, we got to throw Captain Cold in here or Reverse Flash or Zoom. They took a character that isn't that popular for a villain and made him really relevant.
But it's also great that they put this character in it. I really liked that, the fact that the Turtle won.
You really like the Turtle.
I'm surprised how much I like the Turtle. Mainly because it's the polar opposite of the Flash, right?
Yep.
The rabbit and the tortoise and the hare, direct parallel.
Yep.
The Flash, he might be winning, but in the future, obviously, the Turtle wins, right? He wins the race, the big race at the end, and he's king. And like the Flash in the future has to just deal with it.
Yeah.
So when our Flash gets and meets this Flash and realizes, oh wait, your name is the Flash, you're a hero. I can't be a hero. I can't believe this. Mm-hmm. And like he's kind of like mentoring him in the short amount of time that he spends with him in the future to get Barry back to the past.
Yeah.
Oh, this is how you run. This is why I fight. This is why I do things. And you're going to do the same things. Oh, how's Iris? Yeah, she's going to be a big part of your life. Like you have all these things that you're going to go on and pretty much putting all this responsibility and expectations on Barry that Barry's not ready for.
Totally. And it's things that it's great to see because like also this arc is like, it's year 1, but it started on issue 70 to 75, right?
Yeah.
This isn't issue 1 through 5, where if you're just picking up a new Flash book, you're getting year 1 first. We stopped our story after, he's looking for the sages and all these different Speed Force people.
Which I like. I like that story.
I like that story, too. And we're going back because he went into this mind trance. But, like, this gets affected by that, too.
Yeah, so the reason, to jump ahead a little bit, just to set up how we got to this point, mm-hmm. The new avatar of the Still Force meets Barry and has to sit down with Barry and pretty much says, I'm going to give you your memories back that you don't have of your first year.
Yeah.
And help shed light on who you are and who you're meant to be. So that's how Barry, and that's how we see the year 1 story arc.
Yes.
So after our present Barry runs back in time on the cosmic treadmill that they rebuild after fighting King Turtle's
Love the
people.
cosmic treadmill.
Yes. Barry,
it's such an odd thing, cosmic treadmill.
It is. Like,
I love it.
I don't
it's so
understand
comic.
how
it's so comic book. It's ridiculous.
I don't understand how that idea came up. But you're like,
Makes no sense.
The treadmill could withstand it. Sure.
Cool.
Why not just run around in a circle real fast?
Was it made of vibranium or something? Like it makes no sense.
That's Marvel.
I know that's the joke, but like I don't get.
Actually, sure, that's Marvel.
Actually, but like it's just so comic booky. That's great. Keep going.
It is. All right. So when he gets back, he's still debating on these responsibilities that have been thrown upon him.
Yes.
He doesn't want to accept it. He just wants to deal with his life, try to figure out his mother's murder. Mm-hmm. Dealing with the cops and like the issues of police work here, and now this romantic interest of Iris West, and deal with that whole dynamic. Mm-hmm. They fall in love. We see that like relationship grow throughout the book. They have a little nighttime fun, if you catch my drift.
I don't know. It might have been daytime. I don't know. It might have been overnight fun.
Good for them.
They showed us with a panel.
Kids.
They showed us with a panel of the sun coming up. That we kind of knew what we were doing.
What I really liked, his apartment's a mess, and then we see Iris coming up, and then Barry shows off his intelligence in this book very well, which I think is great writing. Oh, Iris it takes the average person like 45 seconds to get up the stairs. Iris jumps over stairs to save herself time.
She skips steps, yeah.
To save herself some time, to get stronger. I have this amount of time. My apartment's in a mess. Let me try to clean everything. And then we see the typical like Flash trope. Run around, clean everything before somebody comes in.
Yep.
And then she comes in. They have a little date. She has to leave for work. Mm-hmm. And if I'm not mistaken, this is where... not the shot part, right? Where he goes to save her?
No. This is Turtle. So yeah, like the basis in the beginning is he goes into the future by accident, sees the turtle. The turtle's won. The Flash is basically beaten the older Flash, and the Flash tells him, "Listen, go back, live your life, be happy. This is inevitable. Like whatever you do doesn't matter." Mm-hmm. So Barry comes back and like he's like coping with his powers and kind of like. He's still hopeful because he's so young, right? Like he's just like, no, I could change this. I could do this. Like he hasn't just been beaten down with years of crap and dealing with the same villains over and over again. And the turtle shows up, the young turtle.
Yes.
And shows up in town, starts causing chaos in the city. The Flash is kind of like a rumor right now. Like we have, like people haven't really seen him fully.
Yeah.
And then Barry's like, I have to do something. Like I can't just not do anything. Iris is there too, and blah blah blah. So he goes and he fights the current young turtle, knowing that he's seen the turtle in the future, like basically conquer the world, and he's basically like, man, if I like, does this even matter? Does it even matter of me doing this now when I know he's going to win eventually?
So after the Flash beat the turtle, Flash goes to prison.
Yes.
To have a conversation with the turtle to try to understand what his motivations are, what makes him do what he does,
what his overall like plan is.
Exactly. Try to see if there's any way to stop it.
I really like that too because he treats it like Barry Allen and not the Flash, right? Like he's a forensic scientist during the day, and he treats it like that. He goes to this. It's like, this is a case. I need to talk to this person about this case and figure out why these are things are happening.
Exactly. So he gets there, and then Turtle gives like his origin story, if you will. And we see Turtle got his powers very similar, like by a lab accident. And then because of his abilities, like he can steal the speed from other people, he killed his family. And now he is immortal. He can't die. This was done many years ago. And then Turtle realized that Barry Allen is the Flash, the person he fought him. But he said, don't worry, I'm not going to spoil this for you.
Yep.
I wait the long game. Don't worry. And like Barry got freaked out that he noticed it, ran out super fast, and ran so fast that he ran out of water. First time he ever did that.
Awesome.
Which was cool to see his joyous reaction to that. Like, oh my God, like I could run out of water? This is awesome.
Yep.
Then he has the little romantic date with Iris. Iris says, no, let's stay in, dropping the big subtle hints.
Hint, hint, wink, wink.
And then Barry almost, as he was about to agree, she got a call from work. She had to go. She was going to investigate, like, Leonard Snark's gang at the time. This was before the Rogues.
Yeah, this is before the Rogues happened.
Before he was Captain Cold.
Yeah.
And as she was doing this, one of the mob members, gang members, whatever you want to call them, took out a gun and shot bullets at her. Barry ran and saved her, took all the bullets and got out. And we see in the last panel on the page, very graphic, Barry's sitting on the on the floor with his hand over his heart, bleeding.
Yeah.
And then the next issue goes into this very deep, like, psychosis of Barry, like dealing with a bullet stuck in his heart, and if he doesn't do anything, he's gonna die.
He has to basically be perfect and phase his hand through his chest and just like grab the bullet and pull it out straight without shaking it around and destroying his chest cavity.
So first off,
yeah, it's crazy.
He's never done this before.
Yep.
He's not even used to phasing.
Nope.
Also, you have Iris banging on the door because she's upset.
Making it worse.
Like, oh, Barry, are you there? I'm sorry I had to read out. So, like, he has, like, another ticking clock. And he can't run anywhere because it'll just hit his heart.
And die.
Yes, he can't get to an ambulance. Like, it's all on him. And obviously, because we have Flash in modern day, he was able to do it.
Yep.
But the succession of panels for those couple of pages were very powerful.
They were great.
That you could just see Barry dealing with his inner turmoil. Like, oh, my God, I'm going to die because I played hero and I shouldn't have been playing the hero.
Yeah.
But I need to play the hero because who else can?
Yeah, it was one of those, like, bringing him back down to earth moments where he was on this high of powers and everything's new, and then it's like
everything's fun and easy.
It's like, dude, you're not bulletproof though, and it brought him right back down to earth, and he takes the bullet out and he's bleeding all over the wall, and he does the cleanup on aisle 3 thing again, and then
he let Iris in, and he's standing. Arms like this in a very sexual pose with his shirt open.
My shirt's open. Oh man, nothing's wrong. I'm healed up. We're good.
Oh my God! And then she kisses him, hugs him, and then that's where we get the. You
really like to mention that a lot, don't you?
No, in the chronological. I mentioned it before because I like it, but this is what happened chronologically in the story.
Yeah, it's technically true. Yeah.
Yeah. Technically,
at least that's what we think. They could have watched just Netflix all night. We have no idea.
He was shirtless. That's all I'm saying.
You ever watch Netflix shirtless?
Not with my body. No. I make sure I cover myself with a blanket and a couple of things. I'm like, all right, let's watch Netflix.
But great chain of events. Great way to make you make your heart race a little bit when he's bleeding out, even though you know he's going to survive it. Like, I think adding Iris there at the door makes your heart race. You're like, oh my God, is she going to find him like this? Is she going to like? That's where knowing he's going to survive, you have to kind of go a different direction and make it still suspenseful and make it still a story that's worth telling.
And when you read this story, if you read it again, because I feel like this story is something that you can.
Yeah.
Like when I did my research for the show and went through everything, I'm like, oh, he could have had a scar or something really bad happen to him, and he could have forgot all of this because of his memories and what happened in the universe. So they could have done something drastic and changed it, and just we never forgot, and Barry would have forgot. So
yeah, they could have. They could have, yeah. And I think
that's one of the joys you get reading it twice.
True. And then we get the kind of like the culmination of the story arc after that, right?
Yes.
Where the turtle comes back and teams up with the current turtle.
Yes.
After they give his origin story, which is great, where he, like you said, he killed his family and all that stuff, and he went absolutely insane. And then we also have future Barry coming back, who's hurt
and captured.
And Barry frees him and takes him away, and he's like, it doesn't matter. Still, like, he's like very negative. Like, it doesn't matter. We're all gonna die. World's over. This is it.
He's like, if he wins right here, he's gonna slow the very convoluted science theory here,
comic science.
But like, he'll slow the multiverse, crash all the multiverses into one, and destroy it. The only way to not have that is not to fight him. You, Barry, hide, so that way. Maybe this world dies or like something bad happens here.
But Iris and you will be safe. And
exactly. And then the multiverse will be fine. Mm-hmm. And then you get, like we were saying before off air, these series of very strong and powerful panels of him walking up to the window, seeing his city being attacked by the turtles. And then
the turtles like the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. The Ninja Turtles. And then you see multiple successions of like quiet panels like, I can't do nothing. Like, what do you mean I can't do nothing? I'm better than this. I could do something. I'm supposed to be a hero. You taught me that. And then...
And, like, what do you expect me to just sit here with these powers?
Exactly, and just watch everybody get hurt? Yeah. I can't do that.
He's like, even if I fail, like, at least I'm going to be out there with them and stuff. So
he broke the cycle.
He breaks the cycle. He goes out and he stops him with Iris's help.
Yes.
As well.
Of course, because she ain't staying around doing nothing.
And, like, he takes down their machine that they're using, and they fight all these, like, turtle guards, which, like, I guess they just paid guys to dress up like turtles and fight.
Hey, if he's king, I'm going to do it. if my options are a turtle guard or a slave, turtle, cowabunga.
So,
Master of the Skies in this place.
What did you think of the, very good. What did you think of the ending of this arc?
The ending of the year one part, or, like, where it bleeds into the...
No, the year one part.
The year one part. Oh, we also see real quick before that.
Yeah.
They did a little like retcon. We see Iris with the two nephews, Wallace and Wally, and they said it's a complicated story. I actually love that. That's fine because you brought the two into it. You have to stick to your guns, and this is the way you kind of introduce that with. And they didn't explain it, which I'm fine.
Yeah, they just met. They met Wally, and Wally specifically has like a conversation with Barry. About the Flash and how much he's likes the Flash and stuff. So that was really cool.
So I'm fine. They did that. They planted that seed to like kind of like fix what they've done.
Yeah.
But talking about the end, like, you know, they beat the turtle and everything. He realizes he's a hero. He has his own suit. I liked it. I thought it was fine.
I did too.
I don't really have like. I don't think this comic led itself to a big ending or something crazy happening or cool. I think this was more. These are one of the comics where it's more about the journey than the end. And a lot of times I think I do this myself when I'm reading comics. I'm waiting for the big moments. Yeah. I'm like, all right, let me see this cool fight. Oh my God, who's gonna die?
Yeah. You're
What's gonna be the outcome?
You can't wait to turn the page and see what happens. Yeah.
With this, the outcome is fine. It's average. You know, he beats them. Yes, the city's saved. They create Flash Day. Yeah. And then it bleeds into what's going on currently, but we don't need to talk about that. It's fine. For me, it was more about like Barry realizing that he needed to become the hero. Barry learning his powers. They did a little retcon here, which was a nice little ad with the Wally and Wallace's. Yeah. And then him and his relationship with Iris and how important that is to him as a character. Because in the current comic run, they're having some issues right now. So it's nice to see a refresher of like how much he appreciates her. Mm-hmm. So maybe in the future, like that's going to help rekindle their. I was going to say friendship, but the relationship. Yeah. Because, you know, they're fighting each other, they're mad at each other. Yeah, so I'm fine. I loved it.
I can see that. Yeah, I thought it was a really good arc. If I had to rate it, probably like an 8.5.
Oh, we're rating? All right, we're rating. I'm going to say I like 8.5. I can't give it a 9 because it didn't have a big wow ending. Yeah. So 8.5 is perfectly fine.
8.5 is where I'm probably sitting at.
So I think we were both in agreement. People need to read this.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm sure it'll be out as its own trade too. Yeah. Really cool story. Josh Williamson's killing it on Flash right now. It's August right now, so
what?
This week.
It's August?
Yeah, he'll be starting Batman Superman up again. With David Marquez, who came over from Marvel with an exclusive DC deal.
Yes, he did.
And that should be awesome. Williamson's really killing it. I never really picked up Flash by itself until he started his arc, because he's in the Justice League, and it wasn't really a book I needed to pick up.
Yeah, because you're already getting your flavor of him with Justice League.
Exactly. So,
but I think this arc, even if you're not picking up the book, like, this is worth getting. Whether you wait for trade or you get it right away, if you like the Flash as a character, not even a super fan, it's worth it.
Yeah, and especially with everything in the TV world and Barry Allen there and Barry Allen here, we know that there's going to be more Flash coming out. Yeah. I think it's called Flash Forward, which is going to be the Wally West book post Heroes in Crisis. Oh, so that's coming out soon.
Oh,
that's going to be a really big book with dealing with his issues and stuff.
That's going to be really cool.
Probably going to definitely pick that up, and that'll definitely tie into Flash and everything.
Of course.
So yeah, I thought it was a great arc for a really good comic, really good art, really good writing.
All right, guys, that wraps up this episode of our comic recap, comic discussion for you guys. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure you give a like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know if you like this kind of format where we, talk about these story arcs and let you know where they start and give you the details and jumping on points. Because if you like it, we'll do more of it.
Yeah, totally.
As always, I'm Rob Moran.
And I'm Chris Heller.
And we'll see you next time.
CheersAndComicCrew.podbean.com.